Australia is one of the top destinations for growing numbers of tourists from China. And as the world's biggest spending travellers, they're in high demand. The Northern Territory government, for one, is on a concerted campaign to woo wealthy Chinese. Nadia Daly reports from Darwin.
We've got heaps of life out here. We've got saltwater crocodiles, we've got freshwater crocodiles, we've got lots of birds as well. The top end here is home to 280 different species of birds, which visit here at different times of the year.
The travel habits of Chinese tourists are the stuff of legend. Cashed up and ready to travel, with an appetite for luxury and adventure.
Got his mouth open, sitting there.
Chinese tourism represents big dollars for the tourism market.
In the Northern Territory, tourism is the biggest employer. It's experiences like this that local operators are hoping will land them the big catch.
I don't think it'll come in a trickle, I think it'll come in more of a wave.
Tourism is now crucial to Australia's economy, nowhere more than in the Northern Territory, which is looking for growth markets to replace the slowing resources sector. And in this industry, there's no bigger prize than the deep-pocketed Chinese traveller.
Chinese in general consume 35% of the world's luxury goods.
And while luxury is still big among the growing middle class, among China's elite, tastes are changing. Bling is no longer in. Experiences like travel are now the favoured way to show off wealth.
The mass market tour bus travellers, they're so 20th century as it were. They don't decline more. What we're looking at now is high-end travellers, big spend, low volume. They're looking for unique experiences that give them bragging rights, as it were, where they can go back home and say, this is where I've been, you haven't been there.
I think mild adventure is probably the preferred option. They're more get in, get out type tourists. One of the options that we have here is our runway strip and our helicopter landing pad out the front of the lodge, which is a great option because that way they can quickly get in or immerse themselves.
Australia is at the top of the travel list for high net wealth Chinese, but until now the territory has been off their radar, with only 1% of Chinese travellers who visit Australia making their way to the NT.
Getting into Asia, particularly into China, hasn't been successful to date.
The territory could be doing more to market to China. I think we need to be more strategic about who we attract from China to Darwin. There is a larger mass market, which is also very different from the high-end market, which is a more sophisticated market looking for a much more unique experience or opportunity and more exposed to the types of products that we have in the Northern Territory.
The Northern Territory government has been pumping money into marketing the territory, hosting high-end travel agents in Darwin. According to the government's own tourism body, overall tourism numbers, particularly international numbers, have been in steady decline for 15 years. So the goal is to turn that around, and they've set an ambitious target to more than double the number of Chinese tourists in the next 4 years.
Northern Territory attracts 14,000 Chinese travellers per annum from China. And in the Tourism Vision 2020 plan, the Northern Territory government are looking at work together to grow this number to 30,000 per annum. And niche and high-end is one of the focus in this strategic plan.
Big ambitions, but what will it take to meet them?
Certainly the language barrier is one of the biggest hurdles. So in China, only a smaller proportion of the population, around about 2%, actually speak English.
So unique.
Infrastructure is a really big challenge for Darwin moving into the future too. Getting to Darwin can be quite expensive. There is currently no direct flight from China to Darwin, so if you're travelling from China directly, you'd need to go through Singapore and then come to Darwin.
I've just got back from a trip to China, talking to a couple of different airlines about opportunities around flying into the Northern Territory, particularly Darwin.
In the Northern Territory, tourism is so important, the head of government also holds the title Tourism Minister, seeking big dollars to grow the sector.
We have a range of Asian, but particularly Chinese investors who want to invest in tourist accommodation and tourism product themselves.
But these investors we spoke to were lukewarm on the prospect.
一个是投资，然后再一个就是投资能带来我们移民这样的，就说这个政策呢，如果有一些优惠或者倾斜的话，我相信一大部分中国的一些现在有这种需求的人都会过来。
The way Lisa Goodhand sees it, tourism businesses like hers should take the reins to turn the low numbers around and get a slice of this booming market.
It's really up to business to get involved. You know, the government can bring the agents to our doorstep. But if business doesn't get active and you know, take advice and follow up on all of those connections that have been made, then they're really not going to benefit from it.
Nadia Daly in Darwin.